If you mix them up, what happens? The little hook portion goes to the front. We made sure the brackets were in the right location. Hello, my rover friends, and welcome to the Lucky8 channel. Today, we're gonna take a deep dive into the sidestep world of the Land Rover Defender L663. We're gonna look at all the brackets, understand where they go, how they mount, and some of the pitfalls that you will run into as you're doing this install in your driveway. So this video is here to help alleviate any of the stress that you may run into. Cue the intro. In my other video, I showed you how to get under the car and rework the plastic and the felt. I'm not gonna do that again. This one's really gonna be focused on getting these brackets that hold the side steps to the vehicle installed correctly. If you mix them up, what happens? Well, you're not happy. And another thing that we've noticed on some of the aftermarket ones, they don't come labeled or they've been mislabeled. So if you're in that world, that sucks and I apologize for that. But that's why we're making this video, so you can see all the brackets and the difference and understand where they go. Let's dive into that. First thing we want to do is get the brackets all lined up like so. You will immediately notice that there are two taller ones when they are sitting this way. If you lay them down, it's very difficult to tell which one goes where. So we're going to stand them up like so. Here, you will see there are shorter ones and taller ones. The taller ones go to the front of the vehicle and the rears, or the shorter ones, are going to the rear of the vehicle. Having the brackets laid out like this and knowing which ones go where are gonna make your life so much easier. I'm gonna work on the left-hand side and we're gonna go step by step with that. Before I dive under there and show you exactly how they go on, I'm gonna put them on incorrectly because I'm betting that's why you're watching this video. My side steps look like this. So I'm gonna put them on, we're gonna set the side step on so you can see what happens if your brackets are backwards. Then we'll dive under the car and I'll take measurements, I'll show you exactly where they're bolting up and how we're doing it. Meet you at the car. If you've got the rear and the front and the front and the rear, your side steps are gonna be at a bit of an angle like this. You're looking at approximately 2 inches from the bottom of the plastic in the rear and a ½ inch in the front. Simply swap them front to rear and your side steps will level out. All right, let's get under the car, take some measurements for the guys that haven't installed them yet, and we'll show you exactly where the mounts go and how to mount them. All right, I'm gonna start with the rear bracket first. It is the shorter one if you stand them up like so. I've labeled them to make it a little bit easier. Left hand rear, left hand front. We're gonna take the rear, 2 of our bolts, and climb under the car. Here we are underneath the car. We're working from the back and you're looking for these 2 holes in the pinch rail. Obviously, I've got the plastic off. If you don't have your little plastic molding off, you need to do that to be at this step, and we have all that in our other video. So we're looking for this location. So this is where the rear bracket will slide into. You also have to trim your felt. As you can see, I've done that. If you don't trim the felt and you just try to drill a hole through it, the bracket is gonna sit all kittywampus and the side steps won't fit. So take the time, trim the felt. And just for reference, coming from the very end of the drip rail to the first bolt location, we are approximately 14.5 inches. So let's slide this in. You'll notice as you slide it in, there's bolt locations on the bracket that need to use the factory holes. So with a little bit of wiggle room in play, you want to make sure that you can access those bolt locations. I normally just start off with one of the bolts from the kit, get it in place, and then gently put in the 2 bodywork bolts. I'll bring the camera up so you can get a better view of that. Here is the bracket upper portion. As you can see, when I move it around, those are the 2 screw locations for the smaller bolts. We're gonna get those in gently, and then we can put the other bolt on the lower location. All right, with everything moving along as it should, I'm going to cinch up the lower ones, not nuclear tight, just snug. And then I'm gonna snug the top portion, tighten the lower, and then do the final tight on the top. Not too bad of a job. Again, you got your measurements, and take your time making sure that bracket is in there perfectly so you can get the little, here we go, these little bolt locations here and the bolt locations on the bottom. I'm gonna do the front same way, but before I mount it, I'm gonna go down there with you guys and we'll get a measurement from the front of the vehicle to find out where this one mounts up. Here is the front location. It's about the center of the driver's door. Let's see how good I am with this tape measure. Oh, I'm not that good. Come on, tape measure. There we go. All right, the first one is approximately 28¼ inches. That'll be the first bolt location. I'm gonna get the bracket, bolt this all in, and we'll have a look at the finished product. Here's a look at the finished product. The 2 upper bolts in place, 2 lower bolts, the felt clearly out of the way. Again, if you have a piece of felt in there, it twists these brackets every which way, so you want to make sure the felt is free. This job's almost done. All right, next up is to test fit the side step before we put the plastic trim back on. And I often get a question, which way do they go? The little hook portion goes to the front. So I'm gonna set these on. Brought a little bolt to make sure they don't fall off, and I recommend you do the same. Set them in place, have a look, make sure they're exactly where they need to be. Then we'll get the plastic trim on, and then we'll tighten these down. All right, everything looks as it should. We have approximate equal spacing between the front door and the rear door. Next up, I'm gonna pull this off, put all of the plastic trim back on the way it's supposed to be, and then we will bolt these in place. Well, I will. So the next thing you're gonna see is a finished product, and we'll just take a quick look at the bolts on the underside that hold the side step down. This job will be done. There you have it, job done. The side steps are level. And we're just gonna recap. In order to do this job, we made sure the brackets were in the right location. The shorter one goes in the back. We adjusted them side to side, up and down, to make sure that they were in the exact position we needed them. We test fit the side steps, made sure all the bolts lined up on the bottom. We put the plastic trim on, then we installed the side steps, tightened everything down, and the job is done. Looking great. One last thing, be sure to follow for more Rover content.